Alright, so in a place you see me all too often, I'm back on the bike. And we're just getting an hour at 2.1 watts per, or 2.1 watts per kilo. So, just going to be here for an hour, just trying to get comfortable in the TT position. So this is going to be the bike I'll be using for the race in June, which is now 3 whatever weeks out. This is episode 9. So, just trying to get as comfortable as I can, getting my body in the right position and holding this position for as long as I can. I will see you in a little bit. And wish me luck. Alright, mile 1. 9:19, average power 2:30. Just checking my form each time, making sure the arms are swinging good, cadence is up, nice lean. Alright, lap 2, 8:46, and average pace, or average power was 2:32. Feel great. Fueled well this morning, feeling hydrated. Hopefully that trend continues. Lap 3, 8:35, power was like 2:57. Oncoming traffic. All right, 4 miles in, 8:53, average power like 2:53, so right where we want to be. All right, 5 miles in. 5 miles in. Almost 6. Pace is good. It is hot. Way hotter than I anticipated. It's kind of like rainy and sticky. It's a little humid, so good heat adaptation though for Maryland. So apparently it's supposed to be pretty warm. So just sharpening the edge a little bit, getting used to that. Because I'm a sweaty boy, so we ascend always. And believe, always, and all that. And every single time I record, I go up a hill, so I'm gonna end it now. All right, we're 7 miles in, feeling good. I'm gonna pick up the pace just a little bit, stay within my power range. All right, lap 10, 6 miles to go, 10K left. That was like 8:27 pace. Legs are feeling it from the weekend still, but I mean, I'm holding what I need to, and yeah, otherwise feel good. Just long day out on the Horsham Powerline Trail, you know. Here we go. Back on hill, of course, now that I'm recording. I just hit 13, or no, sorry, 12. And it's hot, man. But I'm gonna finish strong, almost home. Whew. You know? Ah! All right. 2 miles left. See what we got left in the tank here, guys. Big hill before this final stretch. Here we go. Woo. All right. Just finished up. 16 miles, average pace, 8:34. I think the average power was like 2:52. Average heart rate 147. So we're not breaking any records today, but it was just about getting the miles in. So overall, I would say it went pretty well. But my hamstrings hurt so bad. Like not like in a pain way, just like fatigue from the bike this weekend and the run. And I took a full rest day yesterday, which I think was really like basically mandatory. Just one, to soak up the training, but two, just because my form was so negative. I was just definitely pretty beat up. But when I left, I actually felt mentally and physically pretty good. And then once I got, after like 12, 13 miles, my hamstrings were cooked. So it was a lot of hills on the run today, a lot of up and down. So I think it's probably not something to read too much into, and just take today as a win. So, all right, that's a Tuesday. That's a wrap. Peace. Welcome back. Episode 9, 4 weeks out, officially 4 weeks, less than a month away from Eagleman, Ironman, Maryland, 70.3, whatever you want to call it. And we had a crazy week.
So I think I left off on Thursday with a couple of big workouts that were coming up over the next week. So I think I was kind of hinting at that last week, how things are kind of ramping up. And last week I finished a 15-hour week. Now, granted, 8 hours of that was just on Saturday, which I'm going to go into a little bit. But Friday I had a bike race on Zwift, and my race speed has been coming along well. And I think that's in part to I got rid of my first bike that I bought on Facebook Marketplace when I got into triathlon. And that was a little bit big for me. That was like a 156, I think. And I'm probably closer to like a 152 or like a 54. So anyway, I got the Zwift ride, which I think has been in some videos now at this point, but much better bike fit for me. And I think that has also led to better power output, better comfort, and a lot of things like that. So anyway, I raced with them and I got second. I had a really good push on the last like half mile. So I was able to hang with them, which is always a good feeling, good for confidence, things like that, right? But then I wake up Saturday and I'm going on this long ride. We were planning on doing 100 miles, me and my coach, out on the Schuylkill River Valley Trail. And we were with his wife, Elizabeth, and she did 50. So we were planning on dropping her off halfway. And we leave and we're like, all right, let's go for 100. And we get to 75 and my coach is like, I think I got 124 in me, because he wanted to do 200K. And that was kind of the gist of the day, was let's just kind of see how we feel. Excuse me. And I was like, okay, well, I brought fuel for 6 hours and I only had oats in the morning. So I had a Cliff Bar, was like the only hard food or like solid food that I had. Other than that, it was just liquid fuel and gels. So after like 6-7 hours, we're closing in on 124 miles and, I'm pretty beat. My butt hurts, my shoulders hurt. And I don't know if that's something I'm doing when I'm riding, but I get it both on the TT bike and the road bike. I just get a lot of neck pain and shoulder pain. So I don't know if I'm just a little bit up here and I need to be a little bit more relaxed. Anyway, so I had a little bit of soreness in my shoulders, but the ride went well. We ended up going 131 miles, which is by far the longest I've ever done. I did 93 in the build-up last year to my September 70.3. So I was just happy with 100 and then 124 and then 131 came. So it was a full day, literally a full 8-hour day on the bike. But that is my kind of work. I would substitute any job to be a professional cyclist and bike 8 hours a day. So that was really fun. And we had a couple of climbs. We had some good elevation. We did some intervals. Nothing super crazy. It was more so just about getting the miles and getting the fitness boost from that session. So then I had a 10-mile run the next day, which went very well. Like, I wouldn't say I didn't set any records or anything, but in terms of like hitting the paces that I wanted to, hitting the power outputs that I needed to, it went very well. So then I was off Monday, so I did a complete rest day. I typically will try and like walk, yoga, maybe like light activation movements in the gym. And I was just like, I have to soak in everything I can, soak in the training, and just let my body recover. And then I had a 16-mile run on Tuesday, which going into it, I felt actually pretty good mentally and physically. But then I got to like mile 7 or 8, and you'll see in the videos, I had like a video per mile, and I just got to like mile 10, 11, 12, and I started doing like a video every other mile because I was just hot. I got sunburned, like I didn't put on sunscreen. So it was a mess. My hamstrings were absolutely on fire, which I definitely would chalk up to Friday's bike and then the run on Saturday. So I typically don't feel a lot of like aches and fatigue in my hamstrings when I run. I would say it's more my hip flexors. So I just was trying to focus on engaging my core, leaning forward, and keeping my eyesight on the horizon, 15 to 20 feet in front of me. Because I say in the videos, which I'll post later in the video, is I tend to like really look down right where my next foot strike is about to be, which I feel like just always brings, probably weird in the mic there, sorry. It always brings my whole body kind of down, which also I feel like is affecting my breathing. So I was really just trying to remember to be proud, keep my shoulders back, and keep that good forward lean from the ankles and not from the hips, which is typically what I feel like is where my running economy goes awry. let's say. Wednesday, I was supposed to have my swim because I hadn't swam since last Tuesday, so it's been a week. And I don't know. My goggles and my swim cap, I have a couple of different swim caps, so that was fine. No harm, no foul there. But I lost my Roka goggles, so I was kind of bummed about it because I've had those for so long and they've been great. And I like the tint. It's not too dark. It's not too light. I think they were polarized. Anyway, those were like my first goggles, so there was like some sentimental value there. And yeah, I turned the house upside down. I thought they were in the car, so hopefully they'll turn up. I'm worried that someone might have taken them if I left them at the gym or something, but I asked the desk if there was a lost and found. They didn't see them there. So anyway, they're floating in the abyss somewhere. So if you see some Roka goggles laying around, let me know. They're probably mine. So I was able to bump my swim to today, and I went to Dick's Sporting Goods down the road. And our Dick's Sporting Goods just got all, like, a huge renovation. So it looks great. But their inventory is always not good. 2 thumbs down. So I was bummed about that because I wasn't sure what I was going to walk into, if they were going to have any goggles. And then they had, like, 2022 or 2023's, like, one of these triathlon blogs that I follow was, like, their number 1 rated goggles for that year. And they had the 2.0, which was the model for those years instead of the 3.0s, because I guess the new ones, they went a different direction and they said they weren't as good. So I was happy. So I got both of those that were available. So then I did a swim today and the bike, and the swim went very well. I was actually like not stoked at all to do this swim, but the goggles fit perfectly. That was one thing I was kind of worried about that I was reading, is that, some goggles are great, and they'll get great reviews, but if they don't fit your head or they don't fit your eyes properly, then they get leaks. So I was worried about that because the Roka ones worked perfectly for me. And I have a slightly bigger head, I would say, than normal. I don't know. It doesn't look that way on my body, I think. Hopefully, maybe if you see me in person one day, you can let me know. But I think that I was worried about that, and then I tried both goggles, and they were great. So 2 thumbs up with that. Sets of 1,000 yards, and then 2 sets at 500 yards at a nice controlled pace. So I think I was like 146, 147, and then like 143, 144, something like that. So, which is really solid for me, like basically right at par. And hopefully I can still transfer that to the open water. I'm quite nervous about the tide, like the current going out is going to be against us in Maryland. And I don't really know like how intense that's going to be. So I'm kind of anticipating like having to find my rhythm early. So I think my plan is hopefully to push my warm up like very, very close to the start and kind of start a little bit further back and just kind of go into the swim with my heart rate already elevated a little bit. So that way I don't have that panic where my heart rate kind of skyrockets to 140, 150 to already kind of be elevated, and I'll adjust a little bit quicker. And then on the way back, hopefully if my pace is like 155 on the way out and I'm working a little bit harder, I'll get the bonus of the current on the way back. So then maybe it'll be like 145 and I'll get like a 150 total. So I think that I'm putting a lot of pressure on the swim, which is probably not good. I should just chill out about it. But I was going back through like my whole log now because I've been using Training Peaks for a year. And you can go back and check all your workouts, and just like Strava or any other, system that captures data like this. And, my swim, I would say like, if we use like the RPE scale, like the rate of perceived exertion, an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, I was looking at some of these workouts, used to be like 145. Like that was basically an all out sprint for me at like 100 meters or 100 yards. And now I'm doing that for 500, 1,000, almost like 1,500 yards. So that's super optimistic, and like always good to know that even though progress looks maybe not so great week to week, but over time it obviously looks a lot better when you look back on it. So anyway, bit of a ramble. Didn't really have a plan to talk about today. I had literally 3 notes, but tomorrow's going to be an 8-mile run, easy swim, and then Saturday I'm going to a wedding. Shout out to Hugh and Sophie. Very excited to see all of our friends, dance, and celebrate their marriage. So it should be fun. And who doesn't like a good wedding? And then I'm doing 14 miles before that on Saturday with one of my buddies from my tennis days at JMU. So that should be fun to connect with him, catch up, see what he's been up to. And I'm not sure how long he'll join for, but we'll be in DC. So I get to run the monuments. That's kind of the round out of the week. Hopefully around 9-10 hour week, coming off of a 15-hour week. So pretty proud of that. Body's still holding up, no injuries. I would say I'm definitely battling some mental fatigue, but I feel like that's probably just due to lack of planning. So I've said enough. I have a couple of highlights from the week to share from the run, and then a little bit of a swim highlight. I had to show you the flip turn because it's locked. It's dialed. I'll tell you that. And then, did I get any bike content? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I'll have to check the vlog series album. So I'll bless you with some bike stuff. But anyway, that's a wrap. Stay tuned for next week. Hopefully I'll have a good bit of wedding content to share with you guys. And yeah, I don't know. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Comment down below. So, I think I've been slouching this whole video, and I apologize for that. All right, everyone, work on your posture this week, and that has been a